Hey, my name is Ivan Chavez from Period 4, and today we're going to be looking at Unit E, Concept 7, Student Problem, number 1, I think, yes. And here we're going to look and solve or graph a polynomial without really using a calculator, but by breaking down a step-by-step process of finding x-intercepts and knowing the end behaviors of a graph to plot a graph. So let's go right in, and first step is to factor out our main equation. Here I use a grouping method to first factor out the x squared from this half right here, leaving me with x squared 3x minus 1, and then factoring out the negative 1 in this next half, getting negative 1 parenthesis 3x minus 1. So we know that we had to group the loners together, which is x squared minus 1 right here, and then the twins together, 3x minus 1. But if you just stop there, that is incorrect, because x squared minus 1 could still be factored further, but 3x minus 1 stays the same. So our final factor equation will be x minus 1, x plus 1, and 3x minus 1. So next step is to know the end behaviors of our graph. So if we look back in the main equation, we see that the leading coefficient is a positive, and the leading degree is an odd number, in this case a 3. So we know from our memorization song that an odd positive will look something like this. A graph coming from down left hand side going up to the right hand side. And this is answered in this: as x approaches infinity, the function of x approaches infinity. This just means that as x goes to the right, the y value will also go positively, in this case up. Next is as x approaches negative infinity, the function of x will also approach negative infinity. Again, this just means as the x value goes to the left, the y value or the function of x will go negative, in this case downwards. So that is our end behavior. So next we're going to find the x-intercepts, and we're going to use these three functions equivalent to 0, and we get our intercepts. The first one will be negative 1 comma 0, which we get there with a multiplicity of 1. Our next function is positive 1 comma 0, and we get there with a multiplicity of 1 because there's only one of them. And then finally we get a 1 over 3 comma 0 with the multiplicity of 1. And finally, one of our last steps is to find the y-intercept, and that can be easily found by plugging in 0 to our main equation. 0 to the power 3 equals 0. Now equals 0, but plus 1. So all that will equal 0 plus 1. So our y-intercept will be 0 comma 1. So finally we can graph all this and pinpoint how the graph will look. So we plug in all the points and begin graphing. And I went ahead and graphed further. And notice that I have T's on each point. This just helps me to know that the graph will go through each point, because each of them has a multiplicity of 1. I'll give you an example of the first three multiplicities. If a x-intercept has a multiplicity of 1, then the graph will go through that point. If it has a multiplicity of 2, then it will somewhat bounce on top of that point, such as this, for example. The intercept's right there and the graph is bouncing on it. If it has a multiplicity of 3, then the graph was somewhat curved right through it. And I gave you an example right there. And there you have it, where we graph this polynomial simply by finding out how the and behavior is, and the x-intercepts with its multiplicity and the y-intercepts. And again, if you want to be more accurate on your graph, we can simply find the the maximum and minimum values. And I'll go ahead and do that for you right now. Clear, go to table, clear that out. 3x to the third minus x squared minus 3x plus 1. Oops, it doesn't show. Look at that. Whoa, 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 whoa. My graph is acting up. Anyway, my graph is being weird right now. But there you have it. If you want to be more accurate, find the maximum value simply by using the calculator, going to second calc, max, look for left bound and right bound, and all that good stuff, and you'll be more accurate on your graphs and as far as its peaks and everything. There you have it. Hope you enjoy. See ya.